Are you struggling with the CPA exam because your course failed to fit your learning style? I'm Darius Clark of I-75 CPA Review, where the right teacher makes all the difference. Hey, it's Darius, and it should be no surprise to you that the most heavily tested topic in all of REG is basis. So I thought I would open up an I-75 REG sim and walk you through some of the most likely to be tested parts. Partner X, a 25% partner, contributes property to the partnership with an adjusted basis of $20, fair market value of $45, and a liability of $30, which the partnership assumes. Question 1 wants to know, if X's basis before this contribution was 0, what would X's recognized gain or loss be on the contribution of the asset? And the answer is, if X's basis before contribution was 0, he would experience a gain of $2.50. X's basis is first increased by 20 for the basis of the property. So that would bring him from 0 to 20. Then decreased by 30 for the debt relief, and that would bring him to minus 10. However, since the partnership debt increased by $30, and X is responsible for 25% of the debt as a 25% partner, then X's basis would increase by $7.50, which is 25% of the $30. So if X's basis before was 0, he would experience a gain of $2.50, since basis cannot go below 0, and that 0 beginning plus the 20 minus the 30 plus 750 equals negative 250, and a negative basis of 250 is not permitted. Therefore, a gain of $2.50 would be needed to bring the basis up to 0. Note that the fair market value of $45, which is given in the facts, is not relevant because assets go into a partnership at basis, not fair market value. So if X's basis before contribution was 0, he would experience a gain of $2.50, and that gain will be taxable right now. Same facts for number 2. Partner X, 25% partner, contributes property to the partnership with a basis of 20, fair market value 45, and a liability of 30, which the partnership assumes. Number 2 asks, if X's basis before the contribution was $12.50, what would his basis be in the partnership after the contribution? So now he's not starting with 0, he's starting with $12.50. But he's contributing that same asset with a basis of 20, fair value of 45, and liability of 30, which the partnership is assuming. What is his basis after the contribution? And the answer is $10. If X's basis before this contribution were $12.50, his ending basis would be 10 because we'd start with the $12.50 beginning plus the 20 minus the 30 plus $7.50 share of the debt. And that would bring you to $10. Note that the fair value of 45 is again not relevant because assets go into a partnership at basis, not fair market value. Notice that this time there's no gain for X because his basis never goes below 0. Even when we subtract the $30 of debt relief, his basis is at $32.50 before that. So his basis before we add the $7.50 share of the debt is a positive $2.50. So that brings him to $10 basis and no gain. All right, now part 2 of the basis sim, we're going to focus on S Corps. Swan, an S Corp since inception, had an ordinary loss from business activity of $16,000 in year 22 and made a $17,000 cash distribution to its sole shareholder Preston during the year. Preston had a stock basis of $18,000 back at the beginning of year 22. How much of the loss is allowable to Preston as a tax deduction in year 22? And it's all about basis when you want to deduct a loss from a pass-through entity. So the $17,000 cash distribution, that would reduce his stock basis from $18,000 down to $1,000. So only $1,000 of the $16,000 ordinary loss will be allowable as a deduction in year 22. Because you have to take the distribution into account before you determine how much of the loss is allowable. And when you take that $17,000 distribution against that $18,000 beginning basis, you're left with only $1,000. So only $1,000 of the ordinary loss is allowable in year 22. The remaining $15,000 will be carried forward and deducted by Preston when there is sufficient stock basis or debt basis to absorb it. Number 9, Swan, an S Corp since inception, distributes $90,000 cash to shareholder Preston when Preston's basis immediately before distribution is $60,000. Preston has loaned money to Swan Corp. The balance of the loan is $70,000. How much capital gain does Preston, the shareholder, recognize? And the answer is there's going to be a capital gain to Preston of $30,000. S Corp distributions reduce the basis of the stock until the basis of the stock reaches zero. Since $30,000 cash is received in excess of stock basis, $90,000 minus $60,000, there'll be a capital gain to Preston of $30,000. Why? Well, if you receive more cash than your stock basis, it's as if you sold your stock for the cash distribution. So what about the $70,000 debt basis? Well, they told us Preston loaned money to the corporation and the balance of the loan is $70,000. That's his debt basis. Well, basis in a shareholder loan to the corporation, what does that impact? That affects a pass-through loss that a shareholder may deduct. But shareholder debt basis does not have a direct impact on a cash distribution. Preston's stock basis is now zero, and that's why he has a $30,000 capital gain. But his debt basis is still $70,000 should there be a pass-through loss. So if there's a pass-through loss, he'll be able to deduct as much as $70,000 because he has debt basis, even though he has no more stock basis. And I think a question like number 9 is very likely to appear on your exam. Number 10, Swan, an S Corp, but not an S Corp since inception, distributes $110,000 cash to shareholder Preston when accumulated adjustments account balance is $75,000 and Preston's basis in the stock is $80,000. And there's $13,000 of subchapter C Corp earnings and profits. What do they want to know? How much dividend income and capital gain does Preston recognize? And if you think you know, leave me the answer in the comments section. And don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps the channel out a lot. This reg sim is numbered 1 to 10. We did a few of them together. And this sim is taken right out of my I-75 reg course. So if you want to see me narrate this sim from start to finish, go to cpaexamtutoring.com, get yourself on I-75, where the right teacher makes all the difference.